is the owner of Karmagraphy, which is an all around entertainment company. And she also helps prepare young dancers for the industry with her public relations background and her entrepreneurial skills. And she teaches them about how to navigate, in the industry as dancers, as professionals. So she's a great leader in our industry, and she was just nominated for what was it, World Choreography Awards?
Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, so she was in, the midst of all these amazing choreographers because she's just as amazing. And thank you for being here and, giving us your time. You know how much I love you as a friend, as someone who's worked with you. I was in choreography as well. So I just adore Kavita for who she is as a person as well as a professional. So welcome, Kavita.
Thank you so much for that sweet intro. I mean, I feel so lucky that I've known both of you for so long in different aspects and have these friendships too.
Awesome. Amazing. Yes, we live it.
So
First question, Lorena.
yeah, so we're gonna get into it.
Yes, let's do
And
it.
we love you, and we if you guys haven't seen videos of this young woman dance after this interview, you guys have to go Google Karmagraphy and Kavita, and we'll have everything tagged in this YouTube. Okay, first question before I continue anymore. What daily habits have you helps you feel your best, or what is your typical morning or evening routine? Like everybody talks about these morning routines. It's very like famous nowadays, so gotta go.
Yes. So I feel like I'm kind of against the grain on this subject because so much of my work is unpredictable. Every day is a completely different schedule, which is what excites me and what keeps me going. I think actually not having that really set situation for me is what keeps me motivated and keeps me loving what I do because every day is this new mystery, this new adventure. I have to figure out how to get all these things done. And so, really, I can't really say I have a morning and evening routine because sometimes my mornings are 4 a.m. when I have to be on set at 5. And sometimes I'm, again, working to like midnight or 1 a.m. in the studio for rehearsals or whatever. So I can't really stick to a morning and evening routine because I feel like the failure of not being able to accomplish that, if I made that a priority, would eat away at me as not being something I got done. So I think if anything, I'm just like a huge list maker because I have so many different hats that I wear. I my journal comes like my planner comes with me everywhere, and I'm like on desperately a search for a new one because mine's about to expire, and it's like I have a favorite type of planner that I like using, the way that it's laid out. It's a whole thing. But I'm really just keeping lists for my company, for my personal projects, for things that I have to get done. um, just personal life, taxes, whatever it is. But I don't make them daily because I already know that my days are never go as planned. So I usually make one for the week, and I keep adding to it when things come up, and I cross off what I can when I can, and then whatever doesn't finish that week, I just transfer over to the next week and keep adding to it. And that's what's kind of worked for me, just because of I do wear so many hats that it's really hard for me to really know what comes up and what I have to get done.
Wow. So are you like more of a, because some people are writing uh, versus like technology, like
Yeah,
put
I
it on
write. I'm
Google.
old school.
Right.
Old school, I
I
write
love
it,
it.
and I need to like go through that process and see it on a page, all of that kind of stuff, be able to cross it off, the gratification. Yes, exactly. The gratification of crossing things off is just epic.
Good, good.
Yes.
Um, and then before we continue with these questions, do you want us to, can you tell us a little bit? I know we did a good introduction about you, but just a little bit of story of who is Kavita, how did you start dancing? Because I don't think I really
Yeah,
know, and I have your bio, but if you can give us a little bit of your story.
sure. I think I have a pretty not typical story of someone that is in the dance world, to be honest, because I actually stopped dancing for quite a few years. So I went to Chapman University and I got a double major in dance and communications. And I ended up graduating a year early and getting a job right away in the world of public relations in LA, working in beauty PR and working with magazines like Vanity Fair and producing events. And so that really kind of took over my whole world. Um, and to be honest, I was also suffering from celiac disease and I didn't know it. So it was kind of my body saying, not, now is not the time to be dancing. You got to figure out what is wrong with you. And I didn't even really know that was happening until later, because at that point in time, that many years ago, people didn't really know how to diagnose it. So I worked in PR for quite a few years. And how I got back into dance is I have a dear friend, Gina Starbuck, who I went to school with, and she needed someone to produce her events for these big dance events that she started called Art for Life. And the first year she did it, she was in Wicked when it was here full time at the Fantasia. So I got to know all these people in the industry as an event producer. And then my name kind of got passed around. So I did like Kevin Maher's event, I did Ben Allen's event. So I kind of became the event producer in the dance industry because that was my background. And so then when I decided I really hated doing beauty PR because I didn't care what lotion so and so used or what spa someone went to. Like it was just really soul sucking, if I can say say that. And I think once you're a dancer or an artist, that stays with you. I quit and I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna audition for an agency. I live in LA. You know. Just see what happens. I had a lot of friends from college that were dancing, and I knew a lot of people at this point because of doing all these events. So I actually ended up the person that was in the audition room is someone that I even went to college with too. So really having those connections and people knowing who you are, you still obviously have to do the work, but they're going to at least watch you, right? If they know who you are. So I ended up getting an agent and, doing dance jobs, but I knew I never wanted to. I love dance. I love performing, but my real heart has always been in choreography. And so I knew I just needed to do enough dance stuff to then for someone to take me seriously as a choreographer. But I also was older at this point than a lot of people. And so I already had the skills as more of a business thinking person. So I started a company right away with a friend of mine. And because I wanted to create the jobs, I was like, wait, I don't want to just go to cattle calls. This is not my style. You know what I mean? Being in a room with people that are 5, 6 years younger than you, and I hadn't been obviously training the same way, and also just thinking outside of the box of way to have other skills that I could use. And it was actually the failure of that company or that relationship that I think I learned the most from to be able to start Karmagraphy. I think if I hadn't gone through that, I always say failure is the absolute best tool in life, in entrepreneurship, or really anything. I learned so much about being a business partner, about running a business, all the things that you really want to set up structurally. Um, and even going into a second partnership is, I originally started Karmagraphy with another friend. And so even just how do you start businesses with friends? That's also an interesting navigation, right? And so especially when you're artists and it's something that you're passionate about, it's not, we're not just creating like a cleaner, we're creating art. So how do you navigate friendship and business and all of that? But I think it was really the failures of that first one and the failures of that partnership that made me much stronger once I started Karmagraphy, which has now been 11 years that I've had it. And I think one of the most wonderful things about it is that I get to do so many roles in it. We don't just do one style of dance, so I get to still use all the different things that I was trained in as a choreographer, and how to stage different things and how to go from like live to music video to TV and all those things, all those different things really excite me and I want to do them all. So I think that's one of my favorite parts is that I think so many people want to pigeonhole choreographers as like one style, one thing, but I think a true choreographer just really understands how do you take an idea and a concept and what the narrative is, what the medium is, and how do you create the best outcome, because the steps are not never really what matters, right? So I know you know that from doing tons of stuff as well. So I think that's really where my skill set lies, is really understanding how do you jump from one platform, because I have to do it all the time with my company, and that's what's led me to now choreograph more in film and television, and also with other platforms as well. So sorry, I was a little rambly, but
No, no, it's perfect. It's perfect. Okay, Janelle, I give it up to you.
Oh, for me. Well, I'm glad that, you had Karmagraphy, because I would never have met you or been a part of like the beginnings of Karmagraphy. And I want to thank you for, just creating it with, Sapna, and you and her were like my eyes just opened just like into the world of Bollywood, and I loved it. So yeah, and that helped kind of segue my thing into, different genres. And I started dancing for different artists, Latin artists and Armenian artists, and all these crazy um, out of the box choreographers, or jobs that I probably would never have really thought of, honestly, because I was just looking at TV or film, and I'm not looking at the cultural, you know, dances, or, be even thought of being a part of that. So thank you. So
yeah, I love watching you dance.
so where I know this is actually Lorena's question. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Well, that's a good question, because it's so hard. I think we put so much pressure on ourselves to reach these goals, but life changes. I mean, as you guys know, I'm expecting a baby this year, which is crazy, and that was not something that was really like in my trajectory of my career path. But I don't plan on stopping doing what I'm doing. I'm lucky that I have a very supportive husband and all that. Um, but I love mentoring. That's a huge part of what I do now, is when I teach on conventions and I teach at universities. And I feel like I'm only where I am dance wise is because I had amazing mentors that have got me to where I am. And so it has to be a full circle situation where we have to give back what we've been given and more of what we've learned. So that's something that I definitely want to continue, whether it's, moving strictly into a university level, which I am at now, but something like that. But I do want to keep teaching in my life in some capacity, because it's something that really thing that inspires me so much, but the teaching balances me. Um, really that uh, I don't know, grounded in or me to be outside of that. So students can give so much as well. So I think that's a big part of something that I want to keep in my life. And then also, I mean, I just, I want to choreograph for everything and everyone. And I want to do more TV. I want to do more tours. And it's crazy to think that I've actually done a lot of these things, because we never take time to stop and appreciate anything we do, because it's always hustle mode, right? We're always like, okay, did that job? Yeah, that was great. But like, what's next? And we never take the time to be like, oh, like you were talking about the World Choreography Awards. I remember going to that show 4 years ago as a guest, or 3 years ago as a guest, and like sitting in the audience and being like, wow, one day I just like hope to even be like invited as a guest, not like a plus one. And then like this year I was sitting there in the front row, and I was like, I'm sitting next to people that I would have never imagined being in the same category. And I need to take time to actually say, okay, you did something that was on your bucket list. Take a moment and appreciate this because you never do. And so it was kind of nice because of the pandemic. It was like a smaller setting than it usually it is. And so I really got to talk to all the other nominees and make these connections and just be like, oh wait, I am doing the same work they are. It's not just me thinking that I have so much farther to go because we're always in this hustle mode. So I think part of that, like seeing myself in 10 years, is like actually appreciating some of the work that I do. So that's a part of it.
That's, hold on. That is, hold on, let me press this. Okay, there we go. That is so true. Because I guess as an entrepreneur, we're coming into the virtual space, just like, total new world. And, even the word, I was just telling my cousin this, even the word entrepreneur is like, oh, I am one. It's like you don't realize, and it's just like you're the choreographer, and you're like, film and TV choreographer, and it's just like that big dream that that has come true for you. So congratulations on
Thank you.
that. Oh, we have Claire here. Hi, Claire. Welcome.
Where?
Hello.
Yes, Claire is actually kind of family. She's Jason's cousin. She's been our supporter
Awesome.
for the whole time.
Yes.
I think she's only missed one little talk. So thanks for being here, Claire. Um, okay, so
Next
you can ask
question.
the next question, Lorena.
Okay. What's the next project coming up and how can we support you? Like, what, you want us to tag something that, announce it? What are
Oh,
you up
thank
to?
you. So up to a lot of things, but I think I'm still on tour with both my conventions, which is exciting because we have nationals and all of that coming up. Teaching for Joffrey coming up for their summer intensive and choreographing for Joffrey, which I've done the past 4 years, which I love. I love the program. It's so wonderful because they celebrate diversity. Because when you think Joffrey, you just think ballet, right? So it's really nice that their summer intensive amazing ballet dancers get to experience other styles, and that also as a choreographer I get to see my choreography on these amazing technically trained dancers. So it's really nice. I'm excited about that. And then I mean, I guess really right now is Karmagraphy, my company. We're just back in crazy full swing. Everyone wants to party. It's insane. We went from 3 events this year to over 30 for the rest of the year in the span of like a month. People just call me every day and they're like, "Hi, are you available next week, tomorrow, whatever it is," which is really exciting, but we're still in the process of training new dancers, finding new dancers. So, just kind of putting the word out there to any dancers that really want to work, that are responsible, most importantly, good people. um, because as a company, you need to get along and, you're in long rehearsals and show days and all of that. So, all of that kind of stuff, you have to be a good human being, most importantly, because there are so many talented people. And then obviously versatility as a dancer because we do so many different styles. So definitely if that is something that you guys can share, that we're still looking for dancers. We have one more boot camp left, which is free, which is awesome. We're doing these 4 hour long boot camps, which really, truly, when I say the word boot camp, like I have dancers that change their shirt 3 times because they're so soaked in sweat. It's pretty crazy. So we like go really hard with warm ups, conditioning, learn 3 or 4 routines in the span of 4 hours. And I'm just doing it free because I think dancers have had a really hard time over the pandemic, and I want to give everyone a chance, no matter what their um, situation is right now, to be able to come, because I don't hold formal auditions anymore for my company because it's never enough for me to see people in one setting to understand if I want to work with them. So it's a great way for me to get to know new dancers because I don't teach open classes or anything like that anymore. So it's a great way for me to just see who's out there, who's interested, who wants to work. So yeah, that would be awesome.
And this boot camp, how long is it and when is it? And we'll add it to
Yeah.
the, yeah, if you can tell
So
us.
it's well, there's only one left, but it's on Tuesday, next week Tuesday, and it's from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Um, so it's a pretty lengthy boot camp. I'd say people bring lots of water and a sweat towel, possibly a change of clothes.
Yeah. Yes, I can attest to that for sure. I've been in the space. I've been in choreography. So, yeah. So, Claire, if you're listening, or anyone out there, um, we're just gonna reset the room in Clubhouse because Claire just kind of came in. So we're interviewing Kavita, and she is a longtime friend of mine, as you know, as well as an amazing choreographer, Bollywood choreographer. Her company, Karmagraphy, is an all around entertainment company. So they do all the styles, like you name it, they have it. If you want fire dancers, if you want
Yeah.
stilt walkers, if you want whatever, she's got it. So for all your entertainment needs, she has all of that. And she is going to be a new mom coming up soon. And I'm really excited for that journey for her as well. So just a little background on Kavita since you just got in. And we've just been asking her all these questions about her career as a choreographer. And yeah, so the next question, I think we missed one, was what are you most proud of in your career as a choreographer?
Um, I think choreographing a world tour for an artist, a 90-minute show, start to finish, while simultaneously choreographing a 90-minute full-length circ stage show. That was also 90 minutes that I choreographed and directed and wrote and decided to put myself in. Um, all happening opening on the same weekend. Um, so that was, and while that was happening, um, my company, the dancers that I had relied on for so many years, kind of falling apart. So rebuilding my company, to creating a whole 90-minute stage show where I did all of the choreography and I wrote it and I created the whole concept, did the lighting, everything, was in every part of that production. And then also equally choreographing a whole 90-minute tour for an artist, where she also needed to dance too. So also training her. Um, so that was the crazy, like Monday through Sunday, 3 months of every day, like 7 a.m. to like 2 a.m. situation straight for 3 months. Um, and I just remember being, after it was over, sitting on the plane going to South Africa for like this first city and being like, holy shit, that just happened. So I think it was just like all of that, and at the same time still having other jobs, teaching, having gigs, doing all of that. So that was pretty crazy.
Now that gives a new level to respect of like eat, sleep, and dance. Eat, sleep, and dance. You're like eat, sleep, dance,
Yeah,
repeat,
Yeah.
repeat, repeat
yeah,
with no sleep.
not much sleep. Yeah, I can say that much.
Yeah, it's so funny because I know Kavita to just be that. It's like I'm not surprised. Other people may be surprised, but I am not with Kavita because I've known her for so long, and I'm like, yeah, I not that I expect that, but I'm not surprised, but I'm also very it's very admirable to see that how many, like you said, hats that you wear, and like you balance it all and you make it seem so effortless. I've never seen you like break down or do I mean, I don't even know, but you've always been very you know up top, as I think my cousin says it. Because she was in PR, similar to how you were. My cousin that has cancer, Jasmine, she would say, like, the job itself is like a duck, like with the legs moving,
Yeah,
or a swan. I think it's a swan. You're all swans. We're like, you're beautiful up top and you're graceful, but your legs are fucking, sorry,
Yeah.
but are kicking,
Yes.
and I'm glad that she gave me this visual to share
I
with you all,
love
because
that.
I learned so much from my cousin. But anyway, I want to get her on here at some point. But that's the visual that I see that you have basically, you know, I don't know, maybe you have mastered. I don't, maybe you're still, obviously going through it. But
Yeah.
that's what I see when you talk about this journey of yours. So thank you
Well,
for
I
sharing
think
that.
I think for me the biggest lesson was working for people that didn't know how to keep their calm and they're in charge, and seeing how that affects every part of the business and the people that are working for them and the dancers, and how detrimental that is. So, I think sometimes the best thing in business is learning what not to do. Like in PR, you're in just the most stressful situations ever, but you're running this glamorous event and you can't ever show any of it. So I think, yeah, between the PR training and then once getting into the dance world and really working for some people that really lost their marbles, in rehearsals or shows, and being like, this is never what I want to be like. And I continually remind myself of that all the time when I do have to have auditions or when I do have to do things. I'm like, wait, as a dancer, what would I have wished for an audition to feel like? What would I have wished for a rehearsal to feel like? So that's always at the top of my mind when I'm working with people. It's like, I was there once. What did I wish that experience was like?
Wow, and that is a great point. And I feel like a lot of leaders, a lot of choreographers are in that position and they forget. Or I don't know,
Mhm.
maybe I don't know. I can't talk for everybody, but sometimes I feel like most people should think like you, because um, we were all there once. And as a choreographer, also, like, we have to put ourselves in their shoes too. And we know that, dancing on the knees and all these crazy stuff you ask them to do in an audition that you're really not going to use, don't
There's
don't
no
kill your
point.
dancers before hiring them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like crazy stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that you have those same values, because I feel like some people forget those.
Yes, 100%.
Um, okay, our next question. What advice would you give to other women, business owners, dancers, choreographers, anybody that wants to aspire to do what you do?
I think the biggest thing that I wish I had taken more advice from is, don't be afraid to ask for help or advice, or ask for what you want. I feel like I'm learning this so late in the game, and it's something I still struggle with, because as women, sometimes we tend to be, the pleasers, or not as forthcoming with what we want or what we need. And I think I'm, learning how to ask for those things now, just because I am in a position where if I don't ask for it, it affects other people that are working for me, that they're not going to have the things they need, or etc. So being really, just, there's no harm in ever asking, um, and putting that out there. And we can't be docile about it, and we can't, apologize for it, because that's why men for so long have surpassed us in so many ways, because they don't have that fear of asking, and fear of, saying, hey, I need this to do what I need to do, or hey, I need a raise, or hey, I need X amount of money, or hey, I need this certain setup because of its safety for my dance, whatever it is. We have to kind of eliminate that. I'm sorry to ask, but no, just go for it. And there's all that anyone can do is say no, but you tried at least.
Yes, that's
That
a
is something I think a lot of women and anybody in any industry can relate to that, because I feel like when you're in a position of in charge, you start with this, oh sorry, or oh I uh, like all that belittle kind of language that we kind of use. And I think If we just learn just to just say it. It could be yes, it could be no, it could be let's work something out in the middle. It doesn't hurt just to ask somebody for help or for suggestion or what you think, because sometimes I've seen it, something that I'm thinking, somebody suggests it, says it, and they get the credit. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
and here I am, like,
I know.
you probably get that.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yeah, that's a
that's
good
a
point.
great advice, because I
Yes.
feel and also women are just like, we do 10,000 things in a day. We love to do. I feel great when I have my schedule like 25 things. My fiance has 2 things and he's satisfied. But I want like 25, and I still feel like I need 5 more if I can.
Yes.
I don't know about you guys. I'm like, well, now because I used to be that, and I literally was running around working at Starbucks and then auditioning, and I had 3 jobs at one point, so it's like I had to I had to take a step back. So like for certain people, yes, it works. But for me, I had to take a step back and like really focus, because my thing was like, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and you know. Um, so I think it's just honing the skills that you want in your life and being really focused and clear about what you want. And just like Kavita said, being able to express what you want, and I was in a webinar today with a bunch of women, all business women, all amazing powerhouses, and they were just saying, the same things that Kavita's saying right now, and how we as women need to really voice you know, our needs and our wants, and the men are still making more money right now in our field. So looking at a choreographer that's a man, right? They're making more
Yep.
money than a woman that has maybe more experience, you
Yep.
know? And we have to value ourselves enough to ask, to make that ask for that, that same amount or more because of our experience. So thank you, Kavita, for
Yes. I mean, I'm still learning how to do it. So
yeah,
by
no,
no means is
you're
it
doing
something
it.
that I have mastered. So
Well, you're doing it, and you're such a great example in the industry. So I'm, just so honored that you're here. Another question. I know there's so many, so thank you for staying on for so long.
yes, of
Usually this
course.
is like 30 minutes. um, so let's see. What is a new hobby or skill you are presently working on outside of choreography? Do you even have time for that? Is my question. Like, is there something that you're working on, or is there just something you need to like zen out? Or I mean, I don't know how you do it, but is there a
Yeah,
skill?
I'm not really a Zen out person.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
I don't enjoy it. People are like, take a vacation, and I was like, I hate vacation. I like can take maybe half a day, and then I'm like, somebody give me my computer or my phone. Like we were actually for my husband's birthday, he wanted to go to Yosemite and go hiking, and when we got back to the Airbnb, they had no Wi-Fi, and I was like, no, 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 we need to figure this out. I can't have a whole day without working. And so literally the owner had to drive 2 hours to this cabin to restart the Wi-Fi, because I was like, no, I'm not missing a whole day of work. Like I have emails to write, I have this to do. And he was like, yeah, but you just went on this 7-mile hike being 5 months pregnant. I was like, I don't care. I'm going to sit here with my legs up on my computer. And that to me is much more stress relieving than just sitting here with my legs up, but twiddling my thumbs. You know what I mean? So I don't do very well with Zen um, or chilling out, which might be an issue, but I do feel like it's prepared me well for upcoming pregnancy and not know or motherhood and not sleeping because I already have that on lock. But I think really just I've been learning a lot about that side of things, which I never have really thought about until now in terms of being a mom and what that means and all the things that you have to do. So that's definitely a new door that has really opened. And I was trying to kind of take new classes in different styles, but now just kind of having the energy to do all that physically is not really um, 100% at this point. So I'm more kind of just keeping it chill physically, but not chill work wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there, I know but is there something that you like love to do? Like maybe take long baths or read a book or watch a movie or anything that is something that we don't know about you that,
Yeah.
you know.
I read a lot. I read every night. So I go through books very fast. I like fiction. I'm part of a book club. So we have book club books, and I love that. And we have discussions about them. So still a little bit of a nerd at heart. And so, yeah, every night before I go to bed, I have to read. That's what kind of helps me shut off the to-do list in my mind, um, is doing that. And I like, I don't even know. I probably read a book every 4 days, just because it takes me about an hour or two to fall asleep. So I read quite a bit every night. And then other than that, I also binge watch everything on Netflix or all the streaming platforms. Just once I get into a show, I get so emotionally attached, even if it's the cruddiest show there is. Once I'm like into a show, 2 episodes deep, I gotta finish it.
I feel you on that one. What show are you presently watching or
I just finished Selena, the series, and I was just like bawling in tears at the end. I mean, I knew it, you know what happens, but it's just still like, ugh, every time. And then I just finished the show Halston, about the designer on Netflix, which is also very good. So I like biopics, I guess that's what that means.
oh, awesome. Okay. Lorena, any other questions? Or we can open it up to the
Yeah, we can open it up. We could say goodbye
and say
to
goodbye.
live on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much for joining
Thank you
us.
guys.
Thank you, Kavita. She's
Thank
amazing. Oh, you're on the side.
She's right in the middle for me.
Oh, in the middle. There you go.
Right here. So, bye guys.
Well,